Hey, I am here to discuss the cheap ways to travel Iceland. So, number one is car versus hitchhiking. Um, and again, these are the ways that I've found to be the cheapest while I was traveling Iceland and the most convenient. So I believe that renting a car is a better option if you have a short amount of time. If you have a long amount of time and you want to be in Iceland and you want to see maybe less, or you have a lot of time and you're going to try to see everything, but again, a lot of time, then hitchhiking is super cool and safe, and you'll easily get picked up in Iceland, like really fast, and people do it all the time. There's hitchhikers all over the place. But if you want to see a lot in a little bit of a time and you want to have the freedom to cram everything into one day, and another thing that comes later in the tips, another reason why renting a car is awesome, definitely rent a car, and it's worth it. You can get some for like a decent price. I think it was called Blue Sky Car Rental or something, and they were definitely the cheapest, and it was awesome. And you don't need like a big old Jeep in the summer or the late fall or the late spring, or the early fall, because you can go everywhere and the roads are really nice, just in like a little car, So yeah, that's definitely worth it. Camping, couch surfing, hostels, what do you do? Any of those are great options. Couch surfing is really hard to find hosts in Iceland. I was lucky enough to find one, but only for a couple nights. Just because there's so many people coming to Iceland and there's not a lot of hosts. So it's kind of hard to find a couch surfing host. So the next option is camping. And camping, it's really cold in Iceland, obviously. So camping is more if you're a super hardcore camper and you're bringing all your gear with you and you're ready to tough it up, which would be so cool. And I definitely hope to do that at some point. But yeah, if you want to just do a kind of laid back trip and you don't plan on really backpacking around, then I say sleep in the car. That's why I got a rental car, and then you can sleep in the car. They have a department store that's pretty cheap. I forget what it's called, but they have sleeping bags that are like $20 US or $25. So pretty like normal, pretty cheap price. And they totally work for car camping and car sleeping, and just, that was awesome. The next tip is food. Everybody should know this by now. If you want to travel cheap, go to the grocery store and buy groceries. And if you're staying in your car, then buy non-refrigerated stuff or eat it right then. And it definitely works. Iceland's already like a fridge in the car anyways, to be honest. So yeah, grocery stores, the little one with the piggy on it, I think, if I remember correctly, was the cheapest one. So, but again, if you don't know, then just ask locals and ask them where the cheapest grocery store is and where they like to shop. That'll work. The next tip is, so everybody likes to go to Blue Lagoon when they go to Iceland, and it is so phenomenal and beautiful, and I've heard that it's worth it. But in my opinion, going to the natural hot springs is way better, because the hikes to get to them are really cool, and the people that are at them are super cool, like outdoorsy people, and it's like a mini private party at some of them. It's awesome, and you can get some really secluded ones depending on really how secret you want to get. But ask locals for suggestions, Google it, and go to hike to some of those natural and sometimes secret hot springs. They're totally worth it, and it's so cool. And then again, just to save money, just do all things natural, like all things in nature. What I mean. Like hiking, the the geysers. I'm mixing up my languages. What's it called in English again? Geisa. What's that word in English? I don't know. Anyways, go to them. All natural things is great in Iceland, so you don't even really need to spend any money on tours, because you can just explore on your own if you have your own car and you want to save some money. So it's easy to find everything. You really don't need a tour. Just kind of go drive to the place and look around, and it is so cool. And the last tip is about the flights. To get a super cheap flight to Iceland, if you're an American, is, oh, sun's that way, is to book a layover flight. So if you're traveling to like, what's it called? You know, Europe or the UK or anywhere like that, then book your flight to have a layover in Iceland. And as an American, you can have a 7-day layover with no extra charges and no extra visa as long as you have that through flight. So that's how I did it, and it's a great way to do it. So definitely look into doing that. You only get 7 days, but if you follow my tips, you can cram a lot into 7 days. In 7 days, like, you still have a great time in Iceland. So book the layover flight, and it is way cheaper to fly through Iceland anyways, if you didn't already know, if you haven't been to Europe or anything. Yeah, those are my tips. I hope you have a great day. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let's do one little swing for goodbye. Woo! Bye!